One of the single most common phrases I hear in practice is the phrase, I've tried everything. And I could say that it's pretty much every demographic that's saying this, but today let's talk in particular about parents as it relates to their children's health. The phrase, I've tried everything. Imagine being in that situation. Maybe you are in that situation where we've almost taken this kitchen sink approach when it comes to fixing our children's health. Nowadays there are so many options out there. There's all these biomed therapies, traditional medicine, specialists, pharmaceuticals, the holistic approach, physical therapy, occupational therapy. These are all good things, but what if we're hitting a wall? What if we are not getting the results we want? What if I told you that less could be more? It's not about doing everything. It's about the sequence you and the approach you take to build a very healthy foundation in a person's health that makes it so a lot of times we can have a more simple approach that has bigger and more profound results. The truth is today, kids seem to be more sick than they've ever been. Right now in the United States, 2 out of 5 kids have chronic health conditions. We're talking things that we all know about. We're talking asthma, autism, ADHD, the list goes on and on. And we've got more options to take care of those things than ever before. I am seeing a lot more parents take that holistic approach, which is great. That can feel like an eternal sea, and it can be hard to know what's the best approach and what needs to be done first. What we want to go to is the source of all of that, which is the nervous system. If we can make that very, very healthy foundation, a lot of times things will self-resolve, and we can truly take this approach of less is more, build this very basic and simple foundation that your child's health can grow and develop on. So regardless of the symptoms we're dealing with, whether it be digestion, whether it be neurodivergence, let's put that to the side for a second and talk about some pretty core basics of how the human body works. Let's go to the root cause of everything. What controls the entire body? The simple answer is the brain. But how does that brain get that signal down to the rest of the body? It is through the nervous system. Think about it like an electrical system. It's sending communication signals. You could even say literal voltage down to transmit information back and forth between brain and body. So in many, many ways, you could say the core foundation of overall function to everything in your body, whether it's digestion, cardiovascular system, muscle movement, is your nervous system. A lot of times in traditional medicine, that is an aspect that is very overlooked. But that's what the nervous system does. It controls everything. So if it ever gets dysregulated, we can see anything downstream of that breakdown. Really common signs for little kids are the very, very basic things that every human should be able to do innately. It's sleep, it's digestion, it's energy levels, it's muscle tension, it's coordination. What the biggest thing to ask is what could have caused this to break down? Why would a little child have issues with the nervous system? There's several things early on in life that can really affect the nervous system in a negative way. One is actually the pregnancy itself. If we had a high risk or very, very stressful pregnancy where there could have been some trauma on baby in any way, or baby wasn't in the right position, there could even in utero be less than favorable conditions for baby, dysregulating the nervous system right away. Then we go to the labor. It is very, very common that labor is really traumatic for baby and mom. Think forceps extraction, think C-sections. It's not hard to imagine how that stress or tension on baby could somehow affect their nervous system. Think about the pulling force that has to be on baby to get baby out. The doctors are trying to do their job. They're not doing anything wrong per se, but it can put a lot of pressure on the spine and therefore puts a lot of pressure on that spinal cord and the nervous system, causing that dysregulation. Add that with the stress that starts occurring even early on in life. One that's very, very common is the chemical stress, which is really tough because it applies to a lot of things. We're talking pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals, the hope is to calm down symptoms, but they've got their own negative side effects as well. Even the diet side of things can also affect the nervous system in a negative way. We don't always know initially what kids are receptive to in their diet or not, what they could be allergic to inherently versus what their body can receive really, really well. And that is a stress that the nervous system has to take on and assimilate in some way. When we see all three of those stresses early on in life that happen for and with the same person, we in chiropractic call that the perfect storm. And it most certainly means that nervous system has been affected in a very residual way. So if that master control center has been affected, that's where we typically see people stall out if they're trying other things. It's so common to have people doing occupational therapy or physical therapy, for example, even working really hard on the diet. But for example, if your nervous system, if your brain cannot talk to your stomach properly, how can it, even if you have the perfect diet in the whole world, how can you possibly have your body digest and assimilate that food the right way? Think about the physical therapy and occupational therapy. Very, very important things. They are working on the motor skills. They're working on the fine and gross motor skills. But if the nervous system can't talk to your nervous system or your muscles the right way, how are they supposed to move the right way? How are they supposed to get that proper communication? This is where we see a lot of these things stall out, and then that gets very frustrating for parents. So let's build from a foundation. This is how we can do less is more. So we work on the nervous system. To put it really simply, the nervous system is the boss of everything. One of the major factors of the nervous system is divided into two categories. It's called the parasympathetic nervous system, or the autonomic nervous system, or the sympathetic nervous system. They kind of go hand in hand. They're a spectrum of each other. Put it in more simple terms, the body is either in a fight or flight mode or a rest and digest mode. Fight or flight mode is kind of a survival mode. Imagine what your body would do in high stress situations. We're not going to worry about digesting food. We're not going to worry about the happy, calm down hormones. The body's going to be in stress or survival mode. So all energy goes external to muscle, to fight, run, and survive. We shouldn't be sleeping if the body's truly in this mode. We shouldn't be eating if the body's in this mode. It's not time to heal and repair. Now, that's actually important part of an innate healthy nervous system. But what if you're stuck there? What if we have had nervous system interference right from the get-go that it forces the body kind of be in that state all the time? The whole idea is to stimulate the nervous system or activate the nervous system in a way to retrain it to be in that rest and digest nervous system most of the time, where the energy can go to healing, development, repair, digestion, happy, calm down hormones. If we can build it on that foundation, then there will be a lot of times where we don't need to add all these additional things. The body can start to heal and repair itself. It can even handle less than ideal situations in the external world because you've got a healthy, adaptable nervous system. And the truth is, the external world is never ideal. It's never perfect. There's always a degree of stress in the body. But if you've got a healthy nervous system, it can adapt to that much better. Now, let's say we take care of the nervous system. We've got that healthy foundation. Everything's looking good there. That's where it's really helpful sometimes to bring in other modalities like physical therapy, like diet, like holistic practitioners. But then with that healthy foundation of the nervous system being adaptable like it should be, we see those things take off instead of stalling they see for many people. We work in teams for when we've got our most complicated cases. And it's not just us chiropractors a lot of time, it's a full team around that kid, but it's the sequence that truly matters. We build it on the root cause, what controls everything, and then from there we can see the body heal and do amazing, miraculous things. In our office, we first need to see if the nervous system is in fact part of this. That's why we do a full in-depth analysis with the neurological scans to figure out what is truly the root cause and how we can go about fixing that. If you have any questions or you're interested in seeing if your child's nervous system is affected, please send us a message or contact us, and we'd love to do an analysis to see if that's the case.